Welcome once again, everybody, to Blockbuster Mentality, the show where we dive deep into the world of cinema. I'm your host, Ben Secord, and today Dave and I are going to give our review of Phantom Thread and talk about some current events in the world of movies, talk about the Ant-Man trailer, some Han Solo news, and a whole bunch more. So sit back, relax, let's talk some movies.
So Paul Thomas Anderson and Daniel Day-Lewis teamed up yet again. They're following up There Will Be Blood with The Phantom Thread, which is, I don't know. I didn't know what to make of this movie when I heard about it. It's kind of an odd story, at least for me. It doesn't really have a huge appeal, at least, thinking, oh, wow, this sounds awesome. I don't get that feeling from this movie. But I watched it, and I liked it. But this is another one. It's really kind of tough to figure out, right? I think I need to see this one again and maybe like 3 more times after that to get a feel. But what were your thoughts on this when you heard about the movie, this project, and then you're seeing it your first viewing? Because I like to know like if you're kind of in the same box that I'm in.
Right. I mean, obviously you hear Paul Thomas Anderson is teaming up with Daniel Day-Lewis. You're going to go see it.
Right.
But yeah, it's not a typical movie I would be drawn to if it weren't for those two names. Because again, it's about fashion design in the 1950s,
Yeah.
post World War II era.
Right.
So it's like
Daniel Day-Lewis stars as a dressmaker, and I'm supposed to do what with that information, right?
Exactly. I went to the theater, and there was like these 2 burly guys sitting in front of me,
Really?
and me in the theater, and it's just like so interesting. Like when you just see the premise, don't see who's in the movie or anything. You're just like, that's interesting that those guys are there to see it. But again, you put these huge names on it, and it's gonna draw crowds in, even though there was only 3 people in my theater. But yeah, I enjoyed it. This movie stuck with me, which we'll get into a little bit. We're not going to give anything away because there are twists and turns of this movie that you don't see coming,
Right.
And that definitely kept me engaged in the movie. So I think it's great writing, great direction by Paul Thomas Anderson, but.
Well, I don't think this would be a movie that I would have seen had it not had this director and this actor. And in my theater, it was everybody. It was my wife and I, and then no one under 70.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it was an interesting crowd. But this one, this one sticks with me too. And I don't know. There's a lot going. I tried to after seeing it, I was just sort of stewing at it and trying to put my thoughts together. And I saw a friend of mine, and he's like, "What'd you think?" And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what is it about? And I'm like, I don't know. It was more like there's more moments than a story per se, right?
Right, yeah. There's not like really a beginning, middle, and end per se. You're just along the ride for this guy's just this moment in his life, I guess.
Right.
Like he's a very particular guy.
Yes.
He's very set in his ways. He has to have a specific routine each day, and if that gets disrupted in any way, his whole day is off. His mood has changed.
Well, let me ask you this: that's good, and it was well performed, but did it get annoying to you after a while, or were you on board with this character?
Just what he would do, you mean?
His mannerisms and is being so demanding about of the people around him.
Yeah. It was frustrating. Yeah, but I don't think that's a fault to the movie.
No, not a fault. But I was like, okay, it's enough, man. You gotta chill out.
No, yeah, you definitely you weren't always siding with this guy.
No,
like you were because he gets infatuated with this waitress that he meets and asks her to dinner, and they kind of form a relationship, and she doesn't really put up with his crap much. She throws a wrench in his plans, but in a good way. But
he goes through women.
Right.
He lives in this house, this large house that gets paid for by this wealthy woman that sort of puts him up in this house and lets him. He's really more like, okay, so the dressmaker thing, it's kind of weird, but in a sense, what he really is at his core is an artist. So. Is what I think. So he could have just as well been a painter.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
Could have been Picasso or somebody like that. He's eccentric. He's a perfectionist at his craft.
Right. Yeah.
So you kind of you get that point, and he's sort of allowed to operate in this space. And they bring in other women workers, and his sister plays a huge role. And it's really well done by Leslie Manville.
Manville. Yeah,
amazing in this film. But what I was saying though is his romantic relationships are short. He brings women in, they move into his house, and then he tires of them through annoyance, or he just gets rid of them, like almost like an old piece of clothing.
Yeah.
Right? When it doesn't allure him anymore, he tosses them aside.
Right, and even his sister is kind of involved in that. She even says at one point, you want me to talk with her and get rid of her, basically, because his sister is she's protective of him, but kind of you can tell she has this grip around him, like she controls him a little bit.
Yeah,
you learn about his mommy issues, things like that. Obviously, don't want to again give away too much.
Yeah,
but
although I would actually love to talk into, maybe in a later date we'll get more in depth in this film. Maybe at some point when it comes out in Blu-ray. Or something,
definitely, because I definitely need to watch it again before we're able to really because
I've got some thoughts that I don't want to get into now.
Right,
but I've been like stewing over, and there's a lot of depth here, and it's interesting because at one point her name is Alma, I believe, right?
Yes.
So she asks him, "Why didn't you marry?" And he just replies, "I make dresses because I make dresses." And she's like, "That's not an answer," but it actually is the answer because he's so consumed in his work that he doesn't have the time or the mental space in his head to devote to a relationship and to give himself into it. He's just all about his work. And it seems like a stupid answer, but it actually isn't. It's like that. Actually, that is who he is.
Right.
I make dresses. That's his whole life.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and again, anyone disrupts that, I can just easily get away with you. But for some reason, this Vicky Krebs is her name.
I don't know her from anything else.
Yeah, and she hasn't. Yeah, she's kind of a newcomer, which I could have seen. I could have saw her getting a nomination for this Oscar-wise, but she didn't. Really but Daniel Day-Lewis got nominated for lead actor. Leslie Manville got nominated for best supporting actress, which
she deserves.
Absolutely, the acting in this movie. So yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, again, flawless performance. Not my favorite character he's ever played, but for what it was written, there was no issues whatsoever in his performance. It was just, I'm so infatuated by him. I'm so captive. Like, it's, again, I brought this up when we were talking about our favorite 2000s movies with There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
He's so mesmerizing.
He is, and he does a lot of different things. He plays the full range of emotions here. He is that sort of annoying, demanding, perfectionist guy. Which I guess he brings that into his roles, right? But he does that as a character, but then he's also like in some scenes, in some moments, he's very vulnerable and very like soft and sort of shy. And when he's seducing Alma or trying to get with her, he shows that side of him where he's vulnerable and just soft in a way. But that changes in a minute. Yeah. If she violates some written or unwritten rule or some code that he goes by, you're done.
Right. Yeah, because you think they're hooked. They're in it forever now. Like, it's just like, and then just like at certain points, like she can do one little thing and he's just, I think I made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, like there's that one she brings him up tea when he's working up in the attic, and he's like, I didn't ask for it. I'm working.
Right.
He's like, okay. And he's like, well, I'll leave. And he's like, well, the interruption has occurred. You can't take back the interruption.
Right.
You can take back the tea, but I was working. He's like, come on, man.
I know. Yeah. There's moments like that in the movie, and that just gives you an idea of who this character is. He's just so particular, and do you think he's picking these fights like in the back of his head? He knows like he's doing this on purpose, or do you think this is how he is? Like he. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think it's both, because I think at that point he becomes this guy that can just toss people aside. So it's almost like a power thing for him. Well, who's gonna, if I scold them for this, they're just gonna shrink back because I'm Mr. Woodcock and I can what I say goes.
Right.
But she doesn't buy into that. She stands right up to him.
Yeah.
And she confronts him early. She's like, "Are you just gonna send me away or what? What am I doing here? I feel like a fool." And she really challenges him to answer her and to figure out what's going on in himself. So they are, even though when they feel and they have this tension between them. So I don't know. I think he gets he is that guy, but he also like plays up on being that guy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I definitely think it's a power thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, she's entering his life, and yet she just kind of disrupts it. I mean, obviously, again, we already talked about his relationship with his sister. You know, she kind of has control over him, and he obviously keeps her around. You know, it seems like he could have easily just kind of get rid of his sister, but he doesn't. But because she has that kind of power over him,
right.
and you know, for someone else to have this power over him, it's kind of like throwing him off. It's like, wait, you know, it kind of gives him like mixed feelings. But
his first reaction is to reject her because it makes him uncomfortable.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And I like this because it's like not your typical love story. Like it almost doesn't even seem like a love story. Like it's just like these two people. You're infatuated with him, and you're just kind of, again, like I said, you're along for the ride. But like it doesn't seem like your normal like love story that's set in this era. I think
it's very abstract, and there's a lot of like I don't know if symbolism is the right word, but I got the feeling like the things I'm seeing on screen are not to be taken super literal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because no, definitely. There's so many metaphors, which I need to see it again because I really think I could catch more and.
Well, it spends like a lot of time on different women that come in for dresses. You really get into his actual profession, and it's different. There's there's a princess that comes in for her wedding dress. There's the lady that's financing them that's getting married. And she wants to have a wedding dress made for her,
right? And so, he's like reluctant.
Yeah,
and he says like, and then his sister reminds him, you know, she basically pays for this house,
right?
Like
she's footing the bill for. I mean, he's obviously, I'm sure he has his own money, but she's footing the operation here.
Yeah, and I like what happened with all that too. That was cool.
Yeah, because what you get there is it's something that at least I think most men, at least not me, think about, which is the relationship between the person and the clothes they wear. Right, I mean, we wear them all the time.
Right,
but I don't think necessarily this is just a T-shirt, right? But in this movie, it's telling you that that clothes are actually really important. There's a certain thing you wear that can make you beautiful, or if it doesn't, it has to be made in a certain way that can accentuate your natural features to turn you into this stunning a person that changes their perception of you. You gain confidence. You feel strong. And then it's not just that the clothes make the person, but there's also people who are unworthy of the clothes that are being made.
Right, so because so much love and care is going into these clothes, so much thought is going into this. Like, why should I waste it on this
this lady
pig of a person?
She's just like passed out at her own wedding, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's a good point. But yeah, I mean, it's here we are talking about fashion. I swear, it's a good movie. But
it makes you think of those things that I would never think of.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's almost like that's kind of your metaphors there. I mean, people wear clothes, to make you seem like something you're not.
Yeah.
You act a certain way.
Right.
It's kind of like how people act a certain way to make them seem, oh, I'm a good person. Look what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You
have to fit a role. You have to be this part. And
right.
Yeah. It's really interesting. So I can see how someone who devotes their entire life to making these things look perfect and to just put someone who don't respect wear your art in a way. I can see how that would anger someone.
No, definitely.
It's so weird though.
Yeah, but I do want to get into actual details of the movie. So if you have not seen the movie, maybe fast forward 5-10 minutes. I'll put a timestamp in the description to let you know when we'll start talking about non-spoilers. Let's talk because I do want to talk about this. Yeah,
and the best part, because this is important.
So stop listening now if you don't want to hear it, or fast forward.
The best part of this movie is the end.
Yeah,
and for anyone who loved There Will Be Blood, as I did, if there was one thing lacking in that film, was the end was a bit abrupt and unresolved. It was like, I'm finished, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
After he killed the Paul Dano character.
Right, yeah,
it's done.
Right.
We don't know really what's going to happen here at all. Well, I mean, we understand the character, but in terms of resolution or wrapping or anything like that did not happen.
Definitely.
In this film, this gives you a really stunning ending, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's again. I did not see it coming. I didn't know where this movie was going. So first of all,
it has like a haunting feel throughout.
Yeah, so they end up getting married after she poisons him
with mushrooms.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. It's like wow.
She goes out to she's helping in the house, and then she has there's this book because they're out in the countryside picking mushrooms. She has to learn which ones are poisonous or not. Man, that's dangerous, right? I mean, maybe I'll just say I just won't eat mushrooms, right?
Exactly.
If I'm not worried about which ones might be poisonous
if it's that life and death,
I'll just keep it off my diet. Yeah,
I'll stay away.
I'll stick with the green beans. Right?
Exactly. But yeah, she poisons him, and then anyways, she takes care of him while he's sick, and then he gets better, and he's like, "Oh, I want you to take care of me," and they end up getting married, and they're married, and
this is because as they're dating, at one time, I don't know what they were away somewhere, and he got sick or ill or something, and he slowed down, and he stopped being. He wasn't feeling well, and he was like in bed, and she was taking care of him and nursing him, and their bond became stronger because he wasn't so single-minded about his work.
Right.
And she could just care for him on a one-on-one basis. And she basically recreated that moment by poisoning him with mushrooms.
It's like, I remember when he was sick, he liked me.
And that's really screwed up.
And that's, exactly. But that's kind of how they ended up getting married, which is, just so strange. But it's still captivating. Like, it's still like it interests you. It's like, okay,
because it's like
that's an interesting way to go.
Yeah, because you think, well, is she trying to kill him? Which I think I thought the first time. And actually, I'm not even sure if she was sure if he was going to die or not.
Right.
Because she was so mad at him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought, I was like, man, they're going to kill him off right now? Like, what's going on? Like, man, I did not see this coming.
Yeah.
And then, he gets better. They get married. And then eventually, the what I was going to get to was the New Year's thing, like how this movie just throws you twists and turns. Like, she wants to go dancing for New Year's, and he's like, no, I'm working. I don't want to go out right now. What are you talking about? But she goes out and goes dancing, and then he's like sitting around the house waiting for her. So he decides, all right, I'll just go get her.
What a great scene.
Yeah, and then he gets there, and it's like a New Year's party. He's looking for her frantically.
Massive party that you can't even imagine being in right now. The scene, the noise, the camera work, the set in this is so cool.
Yeah, and he finds her, and you think, all right, they're just gonna kiss and everything's gonna be happily ever after. But he just kind of like grabs her by the hand and they just leave.
Yeah. So
it's just like, I like that, because I was like, oh man, they're just gonna live happily ever after. Okay, it's kind of a cop out, but it was just like. Again, I was surprised, and then they go through more stuff, and he tells his sister that I believe I made a mistake, and she even like walks in behind him while he's telling this stuff to his sister, and then she says something, he realizes she's there, and he's just like, whatever, like he doesn't even care.
Yeah, because the sister's like, there's some crisis going on with the princess's dress, and she's listening, and then the sister's like, go tell so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And then Daniel Woodcock says something like, well, I'm glad that both of you are so polite.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I love the back and forth. Like, I love the little bickering. There was a lot of actually like laughs in this movie, too. I was like,
little ones, yeah.
Yeah, they're little subtle
quips.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the New Year's Eve scene was great. There's also the scene where Alma decides to, against his sister's advice, to make him a special dinner, clears the house.
Yep. Oh yeah.
No, this is so nice. She plans a night for him, which for normal people this is a good thing, but for for him this is not.
Right.
Because it's just out of his expectations, right? But there's this one shot where he walks around and he looks up the staircase, and there she is in this red dress, the one that he made for her, and he's looking up like this, and you probably saw this in the preview. He's just looking up, and there's this white light on his face. And as I think about it, I think that's like almost him like looking up to God, or looking up to like his salvation,
right? Yeah.
Which is her, and then he rejects her.
Yeah.
So he rejects the answer to what he needs in his life. I thought that was so powerful.
No, definitely, yeah, and I love the actual shot of that too.
Yeah, that looks
cool.
It's beautiful. This whole movie is so richly shot. There's like all these saturated colors and like, I don't know, candles. Everything looks so. It looks like looks like a movie that's very old, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it looks for sure that it was shot on film. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I would assume so.
This looks like it's on celluloid, and it just has that like rich, warm feel to it.
Yeah, I love the look, and I love the score.
Oh,
I think
the score is incredible. Actually, I was playing the score on Spotify, and I think I blew my cell phone speakers.
Really?
Yeah. I really.
Yeah.
It's great.
No,
Yeah, the score is great.
yeah.
There's like that. There's like that piano where it almost sounds like a bouncing ball.
Yeah,
it's
just
like
ding,
dun
ding,
dun
ding,
dun
yeah.
dun ding 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 like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, great score, and but yeah, like you said, the ending. Yeah, I mean, he says all that stuff to his sister.
I want you to
in front
set
of her.
this up because I just want to listen to it again. Like, to describe what's going
man.
on for the audience.
Pressure's on. So basically, right after he says that stuff to his sister, how he made a mistake, she's right there hearing it, and you see her picking mushrooms again, and she's cooking.
Yeah.
And Daniel Day-Lewis is sitting at the table drawing and stuff. You know, he can say he's miserable with his life, it seems like.
So much tension.
He sees her cooking. You see her chopping up the mushrooms, chopping them, and then putting them in this omelet that she's making, and you see he recognizes this all of a sudden.
He's watching her. Yeah.
He sees now what the audience sees. He's the audience at this point.
And there's actually a lot of this going on in the movie. There's a lot that the audience can see by the direction and by the acting without anyone actually saying anything. What's going on, what the implications are. Because we see this with the Woodcock's first girlfriend. She makes a comment and looks, and you know exactly the situation. They didn't say, "Oh, well, she's here staying in the house, and now he's tired of her and not getting rid of her." This has been going on for a while. Everything is said with like a look in her eye.
Show don't tell.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. But that's a credit to Paul Thomas Anderson right there for sure.
So I don't want to interrupt.
No, that's good. Good call out there. So yeah, she puts it, but yeah, I just love that.
She's taunting him though,
yeah,
right?
taunting. She's looking
she's being
back
extra
at him.
loud as she's doing things. So that's another thing.
Yep.
There's the buttering the toast made him mad because it was scraping. I noticed that everything they like jacked up the sound in this movie on every swallow, every breath.
The swallows. Yeah.
It's like,
but I love that breakfast scene when she's like just like spreading toast, and he's just like, do you have to be so loud? Like,
it's like trying to live my life here, and you're yelling at me.
Oh God!
Can't do anything.
Do you have to eat? Do you have to eat at the breakfast table? Can you go somewhere else? So yes, I love the fact that they're showing Daniel Day-Lewis notice it. You know he notices it. Like, because he like kind of puts his notebook down. You're just watching her. She brings the omelet over to him, sets it down, and he's just kind of looking at her. Like,
there's like a half smile.
This is really happening. Yeah, this is really happening.
And you're like, he knows, right? He's got to know.
He knows, and he cuts the omelet that is filled with these mushrooms. He cuts it, and it's specifically shown that there's mushrooms in this bite.
Right.
Puts it in his mouth. Starts slowly chewing it. Because I'm thinking like, oh my God, he knows. Why is he doing it? He knows. Why is he doing it?
Spit it out?
Like what's going to happen? Because he's chewing forever, it seems.
I know. Wait, what's he going to do?
Yeah, because he's chewing while he's looking at her, and she's got this kind of like smug look in her eyes, and then like, I don't know what, if he says something, but she eventually says, I want you, lying down,
right,
weak,
vulnerable. I want to take care of you.
I want to take care of you.
Yeah.
And then he's, still chewing.
He's on board.
Yeah. And then, again, like you said with the swallows, you hear him swallow it. You're like that was brilliantly done by Paul Thomas Anderson to, like I've never felt so much tension in a scene where someone's just chewing.
I mean, the moment.
Because were you thinking that too? Like, he hasn't swallowed yet. He hasn't swallowed.
I thought he's going to spit it in the face or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's got to know.
Right.
And then he swallows it, and he's on board with the program.
Yeah, and he says, kiss me before I'm sick.
Yeah.
Like, basically, like, I'm going to get sick now, but kiss me, and then...
So what the heck, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic they have.
So this is one of those things where I think this is more symbolic than real.
Right, which I still am trying to totally comprehend.
Yeah, so
what is your take?
What I think is it's like sort of like... Love is poison. Love is death. It's like a bitter pill that you swallow. You don't necessarily want it, but you need it.
Yeah.
Even though it hurts now.
Right. And it's not always going to be easy.
Exactly. I think that's really the message.
That's a great
here.
call. Right.
He's in a sense, Woodcock is pure without love. And love dirties him in a way, but he needs it. He needs to slow down. He needs that natural check on his personality, being, whatever. It's that natural balance that he doesn't really have, even though he's a fine-tuned running machine. Eventually, he's going to crash. What he needs is just a rest period, a timeout sort of a thing. And that's what love gives him, but it's hard because he just resists it so much.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a great call. Yeah, I didn't know what to take of it. Again,
I stewed on that for a long time.
Yeah, I've thought about this movie, but I haven't really thought about it in a way of trying to figure it out. I just was replaying scenes in my head. Like I said, the when she cooks him dinner for the first time, like trying to surprise him, like that whole scene stood out to me. Just the back and forth between them, it was so real. Because even like at some point, she's like, what's this like she does like this like almost like verbal like
mocking him.
And that's just like so natural and real. Like it didn't seem
like I know you're gonna criticize me for this, so blah blah blah.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
I'm not supposed to be here. Blah blah blah. This is 10 minutes late. Oh,
yeah,
I don't like crust on my peanut butter and jelly. Blah. That was like that kind of a mocking.
Yeah, I was just like infatuated with those scenes. Just Daniel Day-Lewis's performance.
He's
but
so good.
But yeah, hello, how are you? Hey, how's it going?
Now this better not be his last movie.
I know.
I mean, this is stupid.
He's not going to win the Oscar, unfortunately. I believe that is going to go to Gary Oldman, but
I haven't seen this, so I can't comment. Gary Oldman's a great actor and been a great actor forever.
Yeah, it's time. And Daniel Day-Lewis, again, he's won 3 Oscars already, so it's not like he...
It's enough already.
It's enough. We get it with the whole Meryl Streep, Daniel Day-Lewis ring that's going on.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, the whole ending. That's a great call out. How love is painful. Love is but you still need it.
I hope that's the message here.
Yeah,
at least that's what I think. This whole movie feels symbolic and allegorical,
right?
Or that sort of thing. So,
but yeah, hopefully we're gonna do an analysis episode on it someday.
What an amazing end! This is so cool. I was just shocked because up until this scene. The movie, I'll be honest, the movie was starting to lose me.
Really? Okay.
I was getting a little tired of the characters,
right.
Tired of this thing. It's like, okay, you gotta move this along into some way because he's just being weird and she's getting frustrated. Either they're gonna resolve this or she's got to leave or something, right? And it was almost at my breaking point where I get this scene that I did not expect at all.
Yeah. No, it's true because I mean, I can see what you're saying there, but because this movie, I didn't know what was going to happen, and because it was throwing those twists and turns, like it didn't have the typical where he found her at New Year's Eve. Like I said, it didn't have the typical like they embrace and everything's fine.
Right.
Like so, I was so interested in what was going to happen because I had no idea. So I think that's what kept me engaged in it. And I never felt bored at all during the movie.
Okay.
And I can only imagine what a second time will be just because
I cannot wait to see this.
No, me neither. Like I didn't think I would. Like when I first walked out of the movie, I was like, it was good. I mean, it was. I didn't know what to think, but then just you stew on it and you think about it, and it's just
same with me. I was struck by the end.
Right.
So I walked out of the theater sort of elated. But then I sat down in the car and drove off, and I'm like, well, I'm not sure what to make of the whole movie. But yeah, the more I had to think about it and put pen to paper,
there you
right? Then it all sort of made sense to me. Well, at least in a way that I could try to explain it. So I don't really have anything more than this, unless you do.
Yeah,
we can just get into our rating.
Yeah, rating. I mean, again, I think this is a terrific film. I think it was a great team up of Paul Thomas Anderson and Daniel Day-Lewis again. And if this is his last movie, I think it's a good way to go out. He had a great performance.
I actually wanted to get your thoughts, if we could, real quick, on Paul Thomas Anderson. Magnolia. Just quick thoughts.
I think that's a great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I'm a little not so crazy about Magnolia. Punch Drunk Love.
Love that movie.
Me too. I think that's an amazing movie.
That's one of the rare Adam Sandler movies that
that and Funny People.
Yeah.
He's great in a serious role, and actually even Spanglish he's not bad in. If you've seen that,
I haven't seen that. No.
That's one I'd recommend. Yeah, Adam Sandler in the serious if he can be that insanity that he does, that's usually over the top comedic, but in a serious role like Punch Drunk Love, perfect.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood. What'd you think of that movie?
It's alright.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's sort of okay. The Master with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, you got to see it.
I know. I keep hearing that. Yeah, Vinny keeps telling me to see it. Actually,
yeah, I mean, you get Joaquin Phoenix whacking off onto the beach.
Really?
And he drinks gasoline.
Oh, nice.
And Amy Adams gives
sold
Philip Seymour Hoffman an angry hand job.
Really? An angry one,
why I'm good on this. Have you seen Inherent Vice? With Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
What is this movie? what is going on with this film? I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's just I kind of just watch it for the art of it. I don't know.
I don't even know if it's art.
I saw it once. I do want to watch it again, but yeah, it's interesting.
I slogged through this and I couldn't tell what I saw. I don't know. I like Joaquin Phoenix, and
Joaquin Phoenix is great. Yeah,
but yeah, that's kind of a weird one. So this was a nice follow up to Inherent Vice.
No, definitely.
And so, unless you have anything else, go ahead with your rating.
I give this film. I give it 3.5 stars and 1.5 buckets of popcorn.
Okay. I am pretty much lockstep with you, except quality-wise, I'm going to give it 4 stars.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the end. And I feel like, if I'm right, I feel like that interpretation is kind of amazing. And the end is almost worth any weirdness that you get in the movie. And it made me think about things like fashion in a way that I
know.
otherwise never would, right?
I never thought. And like Daniel Day-Lewis is just so... Like you buy him as this fashion guy, like it's just he throws himself into any role, and it's just I love how dedication he puts into it.
Yeah, and I can see why maybe he's saying that's enough, but
definitely.
Whatever. But I'm right with you on the 1.5 star.
Yeah,
popcorns. It's not really that.
It's not the easiest movie to watch. It's not entertaining.
No, you kind of almost have to be a movie guy to like.
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
I think. I mean. I don't know. That's just what I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like into comic book movies, which I'm into comic book movies too, but I'm saying like if that's like the stuff you're into, just like I just want to be entertained. I don't. You have a rough job or something. You just want to be entertained. Like, don't go see this movie. But
you kind of have to go in here and you have to realize that what you're seeing on screen is there's some other meaning behind it, or it's not obvious, right?
Right.
The movie's trying to tell you something slightly different than what's clear to your eyes, that sort of thing. And there is deeper meanings to try to uncover. And it's not possible, I don't think, to always uncover them.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
And that can be a problem, because sometimes it's just confusing. It's like, come on, man, part of the job of a director is to make your point clear.
Right.
And It's not up to me to decipher what you're doing,
Yeah, trust your audience to be smart enough to understand what you're saying, but at the same time, don't make it too obvious, obviously, in some cases.
Fine line.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson does it.
A very fine film. So that is the end of our spoiler section, and we've got a couple of more treats, right? Do you want to talk about some stuff that's been going on?
Yep.
The Ant-Man trailer has been released.
Yep, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
We've got Mr. Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, Freckles.
Freckles. We got Michael Douglas.
Yeah, Michael Douglas.
Michael Pena's in it again, who was great in the first one. Because if I remember correctly, you enjoyed Ant-Man, correct?
I did. This was a pleasant surprise, this film.
Absolutely,
it was very creative, just different. It sort of broke the mold, at least for me. Because of just my expectations of superhero film. Right. It's not your typical thing. It's also not like the whole world is ending and we need to gather our forces. It's not like that thing. It's just more fun. It's lighter. It's more about
it's more like small town crime. Like
exactly.
Almost like I know they advertised it like as a heist movie. It seems like this is kind of the
they don't make too much of it. That's what I like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's just I had so much fun with the first one, and I think it might have even been we did a long time ago. I did a top 5 MCU movies, and I believe I put this in my top 5.
I love Paul Rudd, and I wasn't sure about him going in for this role, but I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love me some Paul Rudd.
Seeing the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Is that the official title?
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That is July 2018. So, yeah, I mean, the trailer, I mean, again, it gets me excited for this movie, which is what a trailer does. It seems very entertaining. Some cool action sequences. Like, I like how they're going, they're actually driving in a car and, like, they make it go smaller to go under the car and then make it go big again. Like, it's just, it seems like they're discovering their powers more, or the technology, I should say.
Yeah, this whole thing, they're just taking this technology and just, doing more stuff with it, which is great. Like, it's almost limitless. There's one where they shrink a building and then it's like a suitcase.
Yeah.
You could just, if you think about it, God, I could do anything, right? I could just shrink down and jump in this beer bottle and
I know.
jump back out or something like that. It's endless, right?
Yeah, it's a fun little. I'm sure they had a lot of fun writing this movie.
It's a device that is inexhaustible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, even have the Pez shooting at the end. I know we refreshed our memories with this trailer when we were watching it. Did you say? You said when we saw like this hand all of a sudden in the trailer. Did you say that was someone?
I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I have no idea who the villain's supposed to be in this movie or anything. Even though I wasn't even familiar with the Yellow Jacket in the first one, before the movie. So, but
I couldn't really tell you.
Yeah,
any of it,
you're not.
But
I'm
not a comic book guy.
I never read a comic book before.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, check out our episode of Top 5 Comic Book Movies of All Time, and you'll hear Dave say that sentence.
I did, and
dropping my microphone again.
That automatically makes me cooler than Ben.
That's true.
So
that is true.
I
That's
now
the law.
Have credibility, and he is a nerd.
That's the law. That is the law. But yeah, awesome trailer.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know really what to expect. I also didn't expect much from the first, and I was very impressed. So I'm kind of guessing I'm going to get the same thing on this one. And even if I'm mildly disappointed, which whatever. It's probably just going to be a fun movie, and I'll be glad I saw it, and then I'll move on with my life.
And these movies, like, it doesn't seem like it needs to, you don't have to have seen any of the other, Marvel movies. Like, it's kind of just, like, kind of on its own.
I like standalone.
Yeah, standalone. So it's just a fun action movie that, has good actors. The first one was great. I'm sure this one so far looks very promising.
Yeah.
So
so you told me that on Monday the Han Solo trailer is coming out.
Yes,
on
the Han Solo supposedly. But
we're just
as of now, we're just rumor guys. Okay. As of now, we're recording this on a Thursday night, Thursday, February 1st. This will be released on February 5th. But as of now, they're saying the Han Solo trailer is going to be released on Good Morning America on Monday.
This is really... Wow, Why? What's the problem here? Why can't we just... Like, what's the hype here? Like, we can't just release the trailer?
I know.
This is like Infinity War territory.
That's what I'm not liking nowadays is they'll even, like... The day before a trailer, they'll release a teaser to the teaser trailer. Like, they'll give, like, these 5-second clip of just, like, just showing different
dude, it's 2 minutes. Just give it to me, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, really? You have to announce a trailer?
Well, it makes me wonder, though, with all this, are you worried about something? Are you... we had to bring in Ron Howard. And, I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting me more and more worried for this movie just because it's like, what's the holdup?
What's the problem?
I mean, it comes out in May.
Okay, so that's kind of moving quickly.
Yeah, and we've gotten Star Wars trailers
year ahead,
a year ahead almost. I don't know, especially with Force Awakens, we got one a year ahead.
Though I don't know when that came
Rogue One, we definitely got it a lot sooner than this.
We?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this is we're 3.5 months away.
That's not much.
Yeah,
this is like for all the money in the world, type of crunch here. What's going on? There's going to be another change.
I mean,
we'll fire Ron Howard and have him narrate.
I mean, I trust
development style.
that'd be cool.
They brought in the director,
or maybe he's narrating the movie, and then Han Solo met Chewbacca, and man, oh man, were they on the next episode of Star Wars?
Tobias.
That'd be awesome. It's someone.
Tobias is Force sensitive.
It'd be awesome if someone in cutoffs just walks in the background.
It's like a whole never nude Jedi.
never nude. He never takes off his robes. But yeah, I mean, a little worried for this movie, obviously with the director thing. Obviously, they had more reshoots, which I know is typical, but again, I don't know.
Maybe this was just
why
an idea. I don't know.
I guess I don't know, but I'm excited. I am excited at the same time that we're finally getting it.
Yeah, I just don't like looking backward. I liked, although I did say I'd like a Leia standalone.
Really?
Yeah, I think that'd be good because we don't actually see Leia use her. She's more in the politics and leadership skills. We don't actually see her use the Force, other than in that one scene in The Last Jedi where she's Mary Poppins. I'd like to see some scenario where she has to, where she saves a planet, where she does something. I think that'd be a really, maybe even pilot. I don't know.
What time frame would you put it in?
It'd be between, after, I don't know. It could be any time before she got old and crusty.
Any time before she got old. So, I mean, would it be after Jedi?
Yeah,
or?
maybe after Return
Yeah.
of the Jedi, where she goes on some mission with maybe Chewie or does something like that. She goes maybe on a diplomatic mission to a planet where things go horribly wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I would like that too. I also want like just something that's not of the main characters too, like something that's
I want to look forward.
Yeah, look forward or like
way back,
like a bounty hunter movie, but like without Boba Fett. Like I don't want Boba Fett in it because that would be too obvious. Like I want something in the criminal world, but like of characters we haven't seen, but it's in the universe. Like you like they mention like the Empire and stuff and things like that. But
that opens the door to just a live action TV series. And why don't I have this?
Why? What? Yeah,
you're doing Star Trek now.
Where is it?
You can do Star Trek. You can't do Star Wars.
Right.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, what is this?
The Star Trek one is pretty good. I don't know if you're not a Star Trek guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen
but
a Star Trek.
Star Trek Discovery is a really good series. It's really well done. I don't think they have a massive budget, but it looks good. It looks like feature style.
Hasn't Rainn Wilson been in an episode or two?
Yeah, he was in 2. He's really good.
Dwight,
oh
man,
Shroot Farms,
all
the way.
Nice.
He was like a swindler. He's like he's just Dwight with a beard.
Dwight with a beard. Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, so Han Solo, we'll see if it comes out on Monday. We don't know, but I want to like it.
You're right. Yeah. Again, I still am not. I never wanted this movie, which I don't like. I don't like when people say, "Oh, we don't even," or like when a remake comes out. No one asked for a remake. We don't need a remake. It's like, well, they're doing it, so just see what happens with it. Like if it sucks, it sucks.
Yeah, that's where he is.
You're probably one of those people.
No, I just don't. I don't know. I think I don't like.
We didn't need Rogue One. It came out.
That's true.
I gave it a chance.
Rogue One
I loved it.
Right, but we didn't know any of those. Well, we know Vader, but that was sort of. We didn't know what was going to happen there, and it was just a pleasant surprise. This one, I feel like there's pressure on a Han Solo movie, and I think we've heard ideas of like Obi-Wan on Tatooine. I don't want to see that. Maybe Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars, something like that goes along with like the animated series somewhere, that sort of deal.
Right.
Be nice. Either move forward, which I think the movies are starting to go there. Move way forward or go way back.
Yeah, Old Republic.
The Knights of the Old Republic. We got to move out of this bubble here because the people that know these characters are just not, there is no Harrison Ford.
Like it seems, exactly. Yeah,
I mean, it's as good as this guy's going to be, even if he's amazing, he's not who you think of as Han Solo.
I feel like they've reintroduced people to Star Wars. They've brought new fans in, obviously, since Disney acquired them. So it's like after this Han Solo one, like I think it is time. Like you got your
fan base
you're
here.
breaking box office records. Yeah. Like I think you're safe to make more risks, especially what we saw with Rogue One.
That was a risky movie,
right?
And it was incredible. This movie was great. So,
yeah. Han Solo.
All right, so
Monday.
That,
today, because you're going to be listening to this on February 5th.
Before Monday, we've got the Super Bowl.
So when this episode airs, the Super Bowl champion will be either the Philadelphia Eagles or
that makes this New
England Patriots.
Well, I'll just say I hate the Patriots so much.
Yeah, we still want to talk about it.
I hate the Patriots incredibly, and I cannot believe. I mean, Jacksonville was. They were leading, and you knew it was going to happen, right? There'll be some penalties. Patriots are they're going to go down and take the lead.
It's just ridiculous because, like, again, this is a movie show, but we're just talking casually now. But they called so many pass interference penalties at the end there on Jacksonville, but then nothing on New England. That just totally bugs me.
Well, so that game-winning drive, there was literally two penalties that got them down inside the 5-yard line, and then the next play was to Amendola. And speaking of penalties, well, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and the Dolphins beat the Patriots. I'm not sure what week it was. It was towards the end of the season on a Monday night, and it was their last Patriots loss. And I believe After that game, and the Patriots were called for a few penalties, they were only called for like 4 penalties
really
in total.
Wow.
For all those games. I don't have the exact number, but it's like a minuscule amount.
Yeah.
The league just said, nah, we're not going to do penalties for this team anymore.
I know, it's ridiculous.
This is not possible.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I haven't been a Patriots hater. I know you're a Miami Dolphins fan, so naturally you're going to be a Patriots hater. I mean, a lot of haters out there.
Already.
Tom Brady went to Michigan, so I'm a Michigan guy.
Okay. But he didn't play all that much.
His last year he did. Him and Drew Henson split snaps games a lot.
Henson did baseball, right?
Yeah, he did baseball. He got drafted him, I think, both. But yeah, never went anywhere. But anyways, being a Michigan guy, I always kind of followed Tom Brady and wanted him to do well. And, I rooted for them in the Atlanta Super Bowl, so I went crazy when they came back. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want this whole Patriots thing just to end by now.
It's enough, right?
And I like rooting for the underdog, so I will be rooting, even though I hate the Eagles too. But
it's too bad
lesser of two evils here.
Nick Foles, he's okay, but Wentz is better.
Yeah,
it's clear. It's clear to me that the scales of justice are tipped toward New England. I mean, the league has their finger on the scales on this. This is like LeBron James. This is Michael Jordan. This is your Kevin Durant. There's Ben spills beer all down his shirt. But,
hey guys.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm sure a New England. Only a New England fan would say that, they'd probably say the refs are against the Patriots, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like but to almost any casual observer, it's pretty clear that the league favors this team, and it's not like they're flat out fixing games.
Right.
But it's a call here or there. It's not calling holding, which are always devastating. It's not calling this one thing, and those things over time add up. And if you're only calling, a couple penalties on a team over a series of games, where it's like this is just a totally unfair advantage.
Yeah. What? So if you were a betting man, who would you say would win?
Oh, I got to take the Patriots. Yeah. I mean, they're playing well and they have the league in their favor. So
another hardball. Whatever, shut up. Okay. Another question for you.
I'm sitting here.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the final score?
I will say 31-21 Patriots.
I'm going to say even boring of a game. I'm going to say 24-13 Patriots.
Okay, I can see that too. Because Patriots win low-scoring games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
they do.
Maybe I want to change, though, because...
I mean, they beat Jacksonville 24-20.
I'm sticking with that.
The only team that really has been able to historically was ever able to knock them on their ass was the Giants.
Yeah.
All those 2 years.
I know. But I was hoping it would be. Yeah, I mean Jaguars. I was rooting for them. That would have been awesome if they would have made it. But
they weren't. You knew the Jacksonville really wasn't quite good enough.
Right? Yeah.
They really weren't.
I know. It's just they weren't going to win either. So it was like. I don't know.
But they were winning, going in, late in the game, fairly. They don't quite have the offense, and you could see the Patriots defense, figuring them out as the game went along.
And even though, Vikings are in my division, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, obviously, but I would like to see them make it as well, but obviously they didn't. But anywho.
Sorry about that.
It's whatever. But, all right, well,
we'll see.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Well, I guess we'll see, even though, again, once this episode airs, it'll already be done.
We're clear where we stand.
Exactly. All right, folks, well, that is it for us. Basically, is that all you wanted to talk about? That's all I wanted to talk about.
The extent of everything I want to say.
So, yeah, that is our thoughts on Phantom Thread, some Ant-Man trailer, Han Solo, current life, whatever. But, and also, the time of this recording, Blake Griffin's first game with the Detroit Pistons was tonight. Don't know how to feel about that trade yet, but we'll see.
Michigan guy here.
When we started recording, he had 20 points in the third quarter, so that's pretty good. I'm going to check the final score after we're done recording.
Actually, he'll be checking it as we're talking and then lose his train of thought and blank, so we'll see.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Follow us on Twitter at BlockbusterCast. I am, my personal account is at BCcord.
I'm at Dave_Quist.
And guys, follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube.
Watch us.
iTunes, watch us.
Yeah, we would really love a
comments.
review on iTunes if you could. It would help us out a lot.
Absolutely. And also on YouTube. We have a Patreon as well. The link is in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free.
Help us buy beer.
Yeah, buy more beer.
Helps us talk better.
Yeah,
on our show.
it definitely helps us.
And spill on our clothes.
This is true. What he said. All right, folks. Well, that is it for us. For Davo, I am Ben Secord, and as always, grab some popcorn, grab some snacks, and we'll catch you guys
at the movies.
Very nice, Delilah.